Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for the time you'll be spending with us. My name is Mark Gatos, Chief Marketing Officer at Enlight Software. Today's webinar is titled Next Generation Automation for Data Center Management. If you take a look at the data center, whether it's your own data center or a co-location facility, there are quite a few moving parts. There's just been an evolution to a monolithic, distributed, visualized, hyperscale model with varying different ways of deploying infrastructure. You can use public cloud, you can use co-location, managed services, edge. There's a myriad of different architectures that exist. The complexity of the data center should not be ignored. It should be embraced. Take advantage of this complexity and the millions of data points that are coming from your systems, sensors, OT devices to really improve your uptime. So this webinar is going to focus on automation. We'll talk about what we mean by that in just a second. And the reason you need to automate is fundamentally to keep up with all these different variables, metadata, all the different elements that affect the efficiency and the uptime of your infrastructure is going to really rely and depend on you automating as much as you possibly can. And data centers, just like applications and other technologies, have gone through a natural evolution. And we've seen quite a few changes from the days of centralized, monolithic systems, single huge systems that take up entire floors of buildings, to the world we have today. And recently we had an Enlight webinar where we talk about the 5 stages of data center management. And we go through the varying different stages, and we talk about this 4th stage, which is where organizations were either moving to the public cloud or really pushing towards automation. It really boils down to you either need to automate and create a very efficient data center yourself, or you should just give it to someone else in the case of a public cloud. Now, if you want to hear that webinar, you can go to enlight.com. It is available on demand. But the genesis of this particular webinar came from that point about automation. And people were asking us a little bit about, what do you mean by automation? What can be automated that perhaps we're not automating today? So we're going to focus on that in this particular webinar, though this 5 stages of data center management webinar is out there on the enlight.com website. So first, let's talk about what we mean by automation. It's a term that gets bandied about quite a bit. People throw it out there quite a bit and use the word automation, but really, what is it? And I took this definition off the web as automation is automatically controlled operation of an apparatus, process, or system by mechanical or electronic devices that take place of human labor. And let's focus on that last part. The real goal of automation is to take things that can be automated, can be replicated by a machine, and have it help humans do their jobs more efficiently and to reduce the amount of labor it takes for people to perform their functions or their duties. And so we're going to be focusing in large part on that type of automation that really helps people do things more efficiently, whether that's insight, whether it's processes, whether it's discovery. We'll talk about that in deeper form, but this is really, what do we mean by automation? Because for some folks it means just duplicating things, cookie cutter, but it goes a little broader than that in terms of our definition. So in the data center, automation can take many forms. It really can, and as I said, it's really focusing on how do you help people do their jobs more efficiently and more quickly by taking tasks that normally a human would do and automating them in some shape or form. So it could be insight into the placement of assets so people don't have to figure out what the constraints are and what the proper location is. It might be capturing planned or unplanned changes occurring in the data center environment and then taking that information and populating it into your systems. It can be synchronizing the data you have with other systems in an automatic way so that systems are continually up to date and accurate. And it can also be kicking off workflows based on defined events that are occurring within your infrastructure. So there are a lot of different ways that you can automate, and we'll talk about a little more detail in a couple slides. But this sort of at a high level, the ways that automation can help you. It isn't necessarily always some specific process being kicked off, but sometimes it's having the system automate intelligence, understanding where assets need to be placed based on constraints of networking or power or cooling, whatever it happens to be. So there are a lot of different ways you can automate the data center, but ultimately it's taking weight away from individuals, from humans having to perform those tasks. So if you look at the next generation of data center infrastructure management tools and the automation it provides, you can break it into specific buckets or areas where you can really get some advantage from automation. First, managing the processes that you have within the data center, where those are workflows or particular tasks that have to be performed, and monitoring the progress. Automating that so you're capturing all the information without humans having to do so, that they're just performing their functions and the system is helping to automate that process. Or helping to monitor and report on energy and other elements, perhaps environmental elements occurring within the data center. Again, doing it in a fashion so people don't have to do it. They perhaps are notified specifically when there are individual alerts or something that needs human attention. Also, you get into discovery and inventory and mapping a variety of assets. As we all know, in a lot of different data centers, there are changes occurring, and sometimes they're planned and sometimes they're unplanned. And you want to be able to capture those in an automated fashion for a variety of reasons we'll get to in a few slides. But again, just making sure that the system is helping you manage those assets that are appearing or disappearing on your network, and making sure that you map it to understand where they are and what systems they're affecting. And then being able to analyze and inform decisions you're making. As I mentioned before, placing assets. If you're placing specifically new servers or new racks, allow the system to optimize what the best place is for those particular assets. And then being able to share information with other systems in an automated way so that, again, not only is your DSIM system up to date, but other systems dependent on that information are also up to date, and you're sharing it with business intelligence systems so others can gain access to that information, whether it's financial, whether it's capacity, whether it's ownership of those particular assets and applications. But really, it's about solving real-world challenges. Automation should be focused on solving real-world challenges. And as I mentioned before, in some data centers, you can have millions of metadata points that a lot of organizations without automation have to ignore, but they do provide value. And automated systems can collect, process, and present meaningful, actionable data to improve SLAs, improve energy consumption, and really lower capital and operating costs. And the other thing challenge it overcomes is it's providing, as I mentioned earlier, consistency between databases, making sure that the information in your data center or co-location facilities matches what's in your CMDB, your ITSM systems, in your BMS systems, and so that you're not causing confusion, that people are always dealing with accurate data and they're not having delays and from errors that ultimately cost money. Examples of this are automated discovery of network-attached equipment that you can validate against inventories of hundreds of potential metadata points. And this central collection and validation of reality can be shared with business intelligence systems, so everyone, again, is working off the most accurate data. Or you're coordinating service tickets with groups and validating that tasks are done according to the specific SLAs that have been allocated to particular application areas. By automating a lot of this, like the workflows around a service ticket and coordinating, you can track automatically what's going on while alerting of any issues that come up, any complications, for tasks being completed. And you're really keeping an audit trail should anyone from the compliance side of the equation want to know what's going on. Again, these are just sort of high-level touch points of things you can be doing in the data center to automate tasks so that you always have consistent information and you're really reducing the time it takes people to perform their tasks. So the bottom line is automation drives efficiency. There are many different benefits you can gain from automating as many processes and decision-making points as possible. Some of the benefits which we've highlighted here, you're really eliminating manual efforts. You're really allowing people from doing grudge work to more intelligent, higher value tasks and duties. You're also improving efficiency, which really helps reduce costs. You're improving the accuracy of the data, as I mentioned before, that's not only in your DSIM, but in any system that's dependent on it, whether it's financial, ITSM, or CMDB, that is dependent on that information being accurate, thus making anyone working on those systems able to perform their jobs more efficiently also. You have better capacity planning because the information in your system is accurate. You have improved resource utilization because you can get more specific as to how you manage those particular resources. You reduce the mean time to repair while helping with root cause analysis anytime there are any particular issues that occur. You're setting the framework for reconciliation on any issues that do occur. And one of the side benefits that many people don't think about is by having more accurate information, you're eliminating security threats because as anomalies occur, you can see them and you can identify them in an automated fashion and your information's more accurate. If the information's not accurate and anomalies appear, you're more inclined to just brush it off as yet another thing that's occurring within your data center. And you can remove unused equipment, ghost and zombie servers that are not serving a purpose, they're using energy, while also posing potential security threats. So there are a lot of benefits of automating as much as you possibly can within the data center to keep that information accurate and keep things streamlined. And we'll talk about a little detail specifically in the next slide about how Nlight helps you do that. So Nlight's approach really falls into these 5 main buckets. First, Nlight's DSIM solution helps automate capacity planning and asset placement by providing greater insight into what resources and space are available and helping people make decisions faster and more accurately as to where to place, where to make changes, to add or remove assets specifically. So by allowing the system to help you with that process, you can be more efficient and automate this process rather than have to manually figure it out yourself. Second, automating workflow management is a big area for a lot of our customers, where you can automate processes, specifically line out how you want particular tasks performed and duplicate those workflows. And as people execute tasks, they don't have to go and figure out what all the different steps are. They can just go through the workflow and be guided through the system as to what needs to be performed, while also capturing that information and passing it back to the system so people know it has been performed. Additionally, if there are alerts or any issues, you can automatically kick off workflows so people can go explore what a trouble ticket or a particular issue that may be occurring within your data center. A big one is also the automated discovery and mapping of assets in the data center. So as new assets occur in the data center, or you populate the data center with changes occurring, whether those are planned or unplanned, those can automatically be discovered and mapped into the system so that as you attach new servers, you can map specifically where those particular assets attach to which particular ports. So whether it's networking or servers type devices, they can automatically be mapped to the ports that are used so that you have an idea of what happens if those connections are dropped. So again, automatically capturing this information. Again, as I mentioned earlier, This is great for security purposes. If you want to have a specific area within the data center where there should be no changes occurring, you can have the system automatically look for anything occurring there that's unplanned and notify people, again with the workflow, if something has happened that was not planned. Also, you can automate the power and cooling management within your data center or co-location facility so that as particular events occur, you can automate notification of people, you can automate how frequently you want to monitor the power and cooling going on within the data center. So again, allow the system to take care of it, automate that process so people don't have to manually take care of it. And lastly, I've mentioned a couple times the importance of the data that's being captured in the data center, but being able to automate the flow of that information in and out of Nlyte. So moving it into a business intelligence system or integrating with an ITSM system like ServiceNow or BMC or HP or Cherwell or a variety of them. Being able to synchronize with these types of systems so that they have accurate information and the information within those systems is accurate within Nlyte, the information that's being shared. So again, automating this so that all the systems are accurate and everyone knows exactly what is happening within the data center and that information is 100% accurate and up to date. The cutting edge of automation is moving into the world of augmentation, where we're beginning to see things like using artificial intelligence to help people identify potential issues in their data center or anomalies before they occur, or help them place assets in more advanced ways that's ever been possible. We also start seeing, as we've mentioned, the ability to do automated network discovery and inventory so that you can automatically see how assets are being placed, how they are connected, and what potential impact they could have if those particular assets became unavailable. And lastly, we're starting to see augmented reality enter into the data center and into edge locations to provide more personal assistance than we've ever seen in how people perform their jobs. And in some cases, allowing people to perform functions they've never done before with the assistance of remote support that's available at the touch of the screen. So again, this world of augmented reality to help, again, people perform their tasks in an automated fashion, in an easier way, and in a more efficient way. If you have any questions regarding this particular presentation, feel free to reach out to info@nlyte.com or go to www.nlyte.com, and we have a variety of different resources about how you can automate functions within your data center to really improve and streamline the processes you have there. Thank you for the time you spent on this webinar. We look forward to seeing you on our next one.